All right, we back with a couple more of these here stories dealing with America and their allies. Well, America's allies starting to hate America, and they're starting to flip the script on them. All right, this one here says whole story was staged. German ZDF reports say Duma incident was a false flag. All right, so basically, you have some reports coming out of Germany that there was a false flag over in Syria. Well, the chemical attack was a false flag. And, this is part of the reason why Germany didn't really want to step up to the plate over there, And Germany is, in a couple of these here stories we're going to pull out, you starting to see the same deal, Now, on top of them speaking about that being a false flag, this one here says, crisis hit German army to spend millions on weapons and hardware. Okay? So it says the German army is reportedly planning to spend millions on millions, which is really nothing. Millions. Millions is like, you're gonna go buy a new car and you just spend $5,000 on a new car. Okay, that's basically what they're saying over here. Millions. The German army is reportedly planning to spend millions on brand new rocket launchers, drones, helicopters, and cargo aircraft to bridge the gaps in its arsenal as the U.S. pressures Berlin to do more for defenses. So for defense. So the reason the U.S. is pressuring Berlin to do more for defense is because really these are basically, like the scripture said, this is the beast that America's riding on. All right, this is the extension of the American empire, the tentacles, the arms of it. America can box you from any direction because it's got multiple arms in different places, you see. So America's pressuring Germany to up its military budget. America's already got the world's largest military budget, and I believe it's like higher than the next 3 or 5 countries combined, But when you really put it in perspective of the real budget, as far as, people say that in fact, this might be a different statistic now, because I was going to say America didn't have the largest military. It didn't have the largest military, but I believe actually America does have the largest military as far as, the Army, Air Force, Marines, and Navy, But not counting your reserves, the reserves is a different count, But as far as, I believe they actually have the biggest number in that total. But then when you add in the fact of all of the NATO and the EU and all their allies, when you add in all their allies, America definitely has the biggest conglomerate military, all right? And it definitely has the largest military spending budget, So when you calculate what just America spends under the name America and combine that, with the budget that, like we're reading here, Germany, just, the U.S. is pressuring Berlin to do more in defense. Why? Because you're not just defending Germany, you're defending America and its assets, all right? It says Germany's defense ministry plans to purchase 18 items, each costing more than $30 million, okay? So again, like I said, it's not too much money, you know what I'm saying, as far as military spending, Now I wanted to get down to the bottom. It says Chancellor Angela Merkel, hang on, yeah. So I wanted to grab here. It says pushes by the U.S. President Donald Trump, who has blasted Berlin for paying far less than they should for NATO and military issues. So how is it that America can sit here and talk down on another country saying, look, you ain't spending enough military budget, unless America actually owned that other country, or basically that's what it is, like the scriptures describe it, the horse riding on the beast. That horse ain't walking around aimlessly on its own control. No, that horse is being guided and directed by the rider that's riding onto, the horse and the rider is moving together because of the rider on the horse is steering it, Your car don't just drive itself, in to whatever direction. You got to drive the car, okay? So this is the reason why. It says, pushes by U.S. President Donald Trump, who has blasted Berlin for paying far less than they should for NATO and military issues, okay? that beast we talking about, basically Donald Trump saying, Germany, you're not upholding your end of the beast, you're not upholding your end, the beast getting weak because of your ass, same with Brexit, It says, Germany reconsidered its investment in armaments. See, Germany's reconsidering, again, like the analogy of the whore rot, like an actual person riding on an actual horse, that horse is reconsidering, damn, I done walked this long ass way in the desert, took you to this restaurant, you done got full off your ass, and I'm over here dehydrated, catching cramps and all this. Hell no, I ain't finna take you back, It says Chancellor Angela Merkel pledged to boost Germany's military budget, followed Trump's call for NATO's member to meet the defense spending target of 2% of GDP. All right, so it says Angela Merkel, she pledged to do this, but see, it's still also tensions over there. All right, members of Germany's Social Democratic Party has sent a clear no to Trump's call to pump billions. Okay, billions. Like I said, that millions is like spending $5,000 on a car. Okay, it says the SDP has sent a clear no to Trump's call to pump billions into massive armaments programs and denounced Merkel's kowtowing for the U.S. president. All right, so basically, you're starting to see these tensions rise up in these countries. These countries starting to be torn apart, and off what basis? The military spending, or picking up the tab for America, Basically, they're like, look, man, I'm tired of your girlfriend, bro. Every time, me and you roommates, But every time we go out, your drunk-ass girlfriend always got to go out and run up a goddamn bar tab sky high and walk out, and I always got to pay for it. It's time for you and your bitch to get y'all shit and get out, This is what you see is going on, The tension's starting to flare up. It says in 2017, the foreign minister warned Merkel not to kneel before Trump in attempts to appease him. Okay, so like I said, you're starting to see these people starting to bump heads over these things. All right. What was we just said? Oh, next story. This is it says the French connection, Macron and Trump's political bromance blossoming after Syria's attack. Now this is a little bit of a mixed story, but what I want to bring out here was there was, some tension here. It says, long gone are the French snorts at the U.S. despite disagreeing on the Iran deal and climate change. All right. So basically, in this story, trying to get you to understand that, the French and U.S. is they going hand in hand. They putting their differences aside. But one of the main differences that they got is this Iran deal, Basically, just for right now, they're not really dealing with it, So you see, France here is still walking on eggshells, but with America, they're not necessarily on good ties, All these countries aren't necessarily on bad ties with America right now, but they all are walking on eggshells with one another, They just they're in a part of a relationship where one or the other, they start creeping in the house late at night and slide in the bed, and hopefully the other one is asleep when ain't nobody talking, when y'all know that y'all about to have a breakup, but y'all just ain't did it yet, Actually, it's down here. It says, this is another one. German MPs want Moscow back, and G8 says peace in Europe possible only with Russia. Okay, the West will resume meaningful dialogue with Russia on all major international issues, and Russia should be invited to return to the G7, German opposition lawmakers say. Okay, it says if the West strongly intends to engage in a constructive dialogue with Russia. Okay, so basically Germany, saying, listen, look, we waking up from all this drunkenness that you got us drunk with the fornication and your wine and your that shit you got us drinking, that Babylon juice. We waking up to see if you really want peaceful dialogue, maybe we need to be talking to Russia, because like what y'all talking about, when you get into the Syria deal, what's really going on over there between these deals is this pipeline that they want. They either want a Russian-backed pipeline or a so-called Western-backed pipeline, which cuts out Russia, but it benefits basically America. All right, but like geopolitically, like on a landmass, it would be way more beneficial. Basically, all of the damn beasts would be better off just dealing with Russia. Okay, they don't got this massive ass debt dealing with America and their army. Plus, the oil is a lot closer and cheaper for them to get the shit from either Russia or the Russian pipeline. They can get oil from Russia, and if they fighting with Russia, there's sanctions and higher oil prices for them. So they the ones got to pay higher oil prices because America don't want to be talking to Russia because they want to cut Russia out the deal so they don't get no money. It says if the West strongly intends to engage in a constructive dialogue with Russia, it would be the right moment to do it now. The head of the parliamentary faction of the left party, Sahar, this person, told a DPA news agency. She added the G7 group should once again become the G8. So, as you see, it says we cannot declare Russia as a country and its people to be an enemy, German president. So basically, as you see here, you see the Germans are wanting the dialogue again with Russia, you see? They see it as more, you got two different players to deal with, America or Russia. Dealing with America, we got a big-ass tab to pay, all right? And we got to always, it's like having that roommate with that drunk-ass, foul-ass girlfriend, Every time we go out, she run up a big-ass tab, and we got to fork the bill. Every time we go out, she get stirred up with fights with everybody else, and we the ones got to fight for her ass every time, Every time some shit happen, you always got people coming by shooting up our house for the shit, People coming over our house stealing our shit, That's literally what's going on over there, All these, like, with Syria and stuff. The Syrian rebels is really invading those countries over there, not really over here. You see, so they getting all the backlash and all that stuff that's happening to them, not us, or not America, Here's that other one. And also dealing with that, you see, here's another one. It says, Germany should not buy the F-35. Europe needs military independence. All right, so basically what this here story is going in is, I'll read a little bit of it. The CEO of Airbus Defense urged Europe to keep its military independence and warned Germany would not procure the F-35 from the U.S., arguing it would kill the Franco-German effort to build their own fifth-generation jet. So basically, this is a deal between France and Germany. They want to basically become independent, not dealing on America and the F-35 system. Matter of fact, this article can explain it a little better than I can. It says, so I'll touch on a little pieces. France and Germany unveils plan to develop the next generation European fighter jet in July last year. Okay, so if this was to be possible, okay, so companies like Lockheed Martin is where they're getting all this from, all right, and American companies, Boeing and stuff like that, which when they buy these military planes, because America say so, like America's pushing for Germany and them to buy more and spend more military budget, American companies are getting rich, not the German or the French companies getting rich, you see. They want to deal with their own people. Like, well, if we're going to be buying planes, we might as well pay our own people to do the shit so we can wax rich off of it. And then maybe if we sell our planes to other countries, who will get money off of it? We're not going to just keep buying your bullshit and your bullshit keep falling apart. It says, the CEO comments come on the heel of a debate in Germany over the purchase of Lockheed Martin's F-35 fighter jets. The German Air Force is considering a replacement option for its aging Panvia Tornado, designed and bought to service during the Cold War, but finding suitable options proved difficult. Hang on. Okay, this is where I want. It says, the F-35, the most expensive defense program in the world so far. So the F-35 is not just a plane, all right? Now, when you look into the technology of this plane, one of the things that make it, like, highly advanced is the communication that it has with the other planes around it. Like, it's a big network of planes, and these planes work in unison to one another, whether it be the radar, weapon systems, and things like that. They all work in unison with one another, all right? So you could think about that as just America and they whatever their little armed wing that they got together, but they can come and join with another armed wing. Okay, so you can have all of America's planes all in unison with one another, you know, in communication with one another. Not only that, if all of America's counterparts or allies or the whole beast was buying the same damn planes, well then you have one, you know, easier operation to be able to work in unison, you know. The hordes riding on the beast, they're working together in unison, you know. Wherever the horde is going, the beast is going too because she's controlling it, you know. So it's easier for them to maneuver, not maneuver, but you know, strategically in the military, you know. It's just like at your damn house, you know. You got all your different appliances and stuff like that. It's easier to have everything be more or less, to say, for this example, all one name brand. So you don't have to have a universal this for a name brand that with a name brand this that's off brand from that. Then you got to have a switch for this and a switch for that to compete with, make that compatible with that. You don't have to have a bunch of bullshit like that. You could just have, if you have a Samsung TV with a Samsung Bluetooth, with a Samsung, whatever the fuck else, you know, whatever you got, you know, everything is all in unison. It's just gonna all work together. One remote for everything, you know. It says the F-35, the most expensive defense program in the world so far. So not only are these planes expensive, but the whole system itself and, you know, everything else that goes with the plane. Like there's a whole other system that works, you know, that's not even the plane itself, you know. There's a whole other system. The plane is just one small part of it, you know. It's really the smallest part of the whole shit. Okay, the F-35 is the most expensive defense program in the world, gained notoriety for its major setbacks, okay, including reports on reliability issues and faulty avionics, software, fire control systems, and safety equipment. All right, so this plane is when it came out, this plane never really delivered on how it was supposed to deliver. All right, this product came out, it was fucked up from when it was developed, and it's still fucked up to this day. All right, they never got it right. Says despite this, Australia, Israel, Italy, Japan have already received deliveries of the aircraft. All right, more extensions of the beast. All right, America's moving more of his shit around. U.S. Air Force is the biggest F-35 operator. Recently, it was reported that the U.S. Air Force may be forced to dramatically cut its F-35 fleet after concluding the cost over the next decade will be running at almost 38% over planned budget. So, I mean, shit, if America's bankrupting itself, trying to push out more and more shit, what do you think it's doing to these other countries that ain't reaping none of the benefits? All right? I think it was 2 more articles. It was one about... Give me 1 second, Salakia. Right here. Now, this isn't part of more or less that beast, you know. This isn't, you know, the part of the beast, but as you also see some of these other allies of America starting to turn on them. South Korea halts border propaganda speakers at summit in the North looms. It says South Korea has turned off its speakers broadcasting propaganda across the border to North Korea for the first time in 2 years in the lead up of a historic summit between the two countries. All right, so you're starting to see South Korea starting to, you know, put aside their differences, you know, in which, you know, that's a major, you know, location for us, not us, America, to have over in that area. All right. And the last story I wanted to grab out was pretty much another one of these non-nations of the beast. I mean, they're part of the NATO. Hang on, let me find the story. Oh, I know where it is. Bottom of this one. Give me 1 second. It was one about Turkey. And, And Turkey was basically saying that they can. Man, I wish I could really find this story. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'll be able to find it. It might have got taken off the stream already, but nevertheless, it was pretty much Turkey was pretty much saying you know, they was bringing out some of the you know, the hypocrisy of America, talking about how America's arming these rebels and the people that they're calling terrorists over there, and they're getting free weapons. You know, they can get free weapons, but you know, Turkey can't even get any weapons. See if I can find it. It wasn't too much to read out of it. It was just a little piece in there. But I can't seem to find the story anymore, so I think it might have been. Yeah, they might have taken it off. But nevertheless, you know, it was going into talking about Turkey and how Turkey it's not in the UK. Anyway, Turkey was saying that they can't get weapons, you know, from America, you know, and they have you know, they have to pay a price and all this and that, and it's super expensive, all these different things, you know, but it's free for these so-called terrorists that they call them terrorists, you know. They're getting tired of the hypocrisy of America, you know, and this is why they're starting to move ways towards dealing with Russia, you know. But nevertheless, we're gonna go ahead and close out with that. Lord willing, this here lesson was edifying. You can see that these nations, these allies of America, are starting to, you know, hate America. You know, the beast that the whore is riding upon is starting to hate the whore. You know, and like the scripture say, that these 10, you know, these are gonna wind up burning the whore. You know, and make her desolate. You know, and also when you read in Ezekiel 38 about Russia being the garden to those other nations, you know, that's why I wanted to bring out part of this Turkey deal. But you know, like I said, I think they done pulled it off. I mean, this is a story about the white helmets, you know, which is getting into that as well, how they're backing these rebels or these so-called terrorists over there. But nevertheless, we're going to go ahead and close out with that. With that, we're going to say, Call Halal Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shah, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that taught me this truth and that rule well. And salutation and much love for you, I can push this truth and sincerity over the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions. Stay strong. Shalom.